Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, another brand new day. Yes, indeed, a brand new day wherein I haven't had a whole lot happen. I mean, it was the weekend, and weekends are slow for most people. Slow in that you're not doing a lot of important things. And for me, they're even slower. So I didn't get a lot done. I didn't do a lot of stuff except try and think, try and be creative, try and do stuff, try and not have an upset tummy. I drank some soda to wash down some potassium tablets, and now of course the gas wants to come out while I'm talking. Yay, but I'm not gonna stop and start over. So thumbs up. So past that, as stated, I mean, I've just been largely existing. I've been playing video games when I can. I've been watching videos. I've been going out for walks when I can. I was thinking about that sort of thing, This is a real... I don't have a lot on my topics list, so I'm going to be really bouncing around off things. And it was the thought of, I do spend a ton of time in this room here, but at the same time, I don't feel like I'm doing nothing at all. I'm still active, even though I'm not, going anywhere and doing things, because I'm still active mentally. I'm still interacting with people online. I'm still doing things, creatively with videos and thinking, and I'm still doing stuff. So even though I largely spend most of my time here during daylight hours in this room doing stuff with my computer and my consoles and my hamster and stuff like that, I'm still leaving to go to the bathroom, or leaving to go downstairs and talk, or leaving to see what stuff. I'm still not stuck in here. I do things around the house. I interact with my housemates. I go outside. I do things, and then I come back up here, of course. And then, I still go out for a couple hours every single night where I just go for walks around the town. And it may seem like that's you're doing nothing, but I'm still super active mentally and physically. I mean, going up and down the stairs and the stuff that I do and the walks that I take, I'm active enough that my pulse is usually right around 55. And when it goes up to around 70, if I've eaten bad food or such like that, that feels bad because it's so fast. Now that it's beating at a normal speed, it feels wrong. So I'm still active mentally, and I'm still active physically, and I may spend most of my time just here and such like that, but I don't feel like my life has become nothing. I mean, to somebody like my housemates, they went like kayaking for a time yesterday and such like that. They go off, they camp, they do things like that. And I imagine when they think of me, just if they ever do, just my time up here, it's probably like I'm just a tiny, tiny nothing, do nothing life. But it doesn't feel like that to me. And so, thumbs up. I mean, I do what I can physically. A lot of the reasons that I don't do much physically is because I can't. I mean, I've got back injuries, I've got nerve injuries, I've got chronic conditions that cause weakness and fatigue and pain. One of the reasons I have so much trouble with my sleep is I have pain-related insomnia. Everything hurts. So joy. But I feel mentally active. Sure, I'm doing less things physically, but that's fine. I'm also older. I haven't stopped moving because I'm not ancient yet. So I'm going to do what I can. And like I say, still active mentally. I'm still working on all of my, cosmic horror things and the various story settings inside of those frameworks. So it's a good thing. Definitely a thumbs up. And although I've wanted to record this, I've been going out such late walkies, and the days have changed fast. It used to be about 4 o'clock in the morning, of course, around June. It was light, and then it got dark around 10ish. Well, now it's about 6 o'clock and it's starting to get dim. 7 o'clock onward, it's dark. The lights are starting to come on, and the sun doesn't really shine in here until almost 7 a.m. So by the time I go back out walkies, it's almost too dark to record anything. Which, in one way, in fact, here I'm going to talk about this. I've talked about the railroad tracks that I like to walk on. And they run right by a road that goes through a sort of neighborhood next to a creek, the tracks, and then the road. And then there's businesses and I don't even know what kind of businesses they are, but they're like construction, some sort of thing. And then there's rental things, such like that. So it's not really business oriented. It's not really housing oriented, but a lot of the 18-wheel traffic has been going through there, and the road wasn't set up for that. And so it's been destroying the road, and it's been destroying all of the pipes underneath. And so they've been replacing everything, which is why they've been doing all the construction lately. They've replaced all the piping along the road, and they've been putting new blacktop on. And so it looks really cool. And if I can get there when there's sun, I'll record what it looks like now. So thumbs up on that. Yay. I mean, so there's things happening in town, which we still have a lot of abandoned buildings. And there's also a lot of new construction. And some of it is just sad because we used to have, I do not know how long the Shell station was in Shelton, because I moved here in 2007, got married to my wife in 2002, and first visited Shelton here earlier because my wife's family lived here, and so we visited. And there was a Shell station with this restaurant attached to it. And it was a literal fast food type restaurant, except, you could go in and you could order food and you could get takeout food, and then you go over to the restaurant and people were coming over and paying for food and ordering things, and then over to the side there was where you bought your gas. And it was kind of cool, but that apparently fell on such hard times that they shut it down, tore it down, and now there's a Wendy's and a Starbucks there. Yay. So there's a lot of stuff like that happening, a lot of new places going up, but at the same time there's still a lot of abandoned and empty things everywhere. So thumbs up on that. Past that, though, is stated, I've just been trying to think about various things. I spend a lot of time on the background stuff, trying to make everything work on all the very little ideas that I have, so that everything that is built on them afterward has a really solid framework. Even if it's something that never gets mentioned, or would even be referred to, it's all gotta make sense to me. Oh, that gas from my soda I drank. My apologies. I always have to make that work. So I've been spending a lot of time on a lot of the background stuff, because I've mentioned that the world, the bone-hurting juice place, is it? Excuse me. It hasn't been billions of years. This planet and the sun has been there for trillions of years, with these whatever races of whatever evolves between each aeon. And it's just been lasting, but planets and suns don't last that long. So there would have to be a reason. And so I've tried positing some sort of connection between stars in the universe, so that when a star needs something, it'll feed it to something else if that needs it, and if it's producing too much, it'll get sent out, and planets get replenished, so that everything stays homeostatic. Things don't age out. Problem is, of course, there's always loss. So even if an entire universe's stars are built up this way so that everything is supporting each other, that's only going to slow things down. If you want to rebuild it back up so it's going to last forever, you'd need more things. So you'd have to connect into stars in another universe and begin doing the same thing, but then eventually that's going to reach a homeostatic state, and then you're going to have loss. So it's going to have to be part of an ever-growing, ever-expanding infection of universes where each of these universes, they're infected, but that means stars don't die anymore. As they produce too much stuff that would choke out fusion and fission, that is sent out through this network to other stars that need that to keep them going. And if your star has a need, then it comes in to keep the planets refreshed, to keep the stars refreshed, to keep everything at a homeostatic state. Which means you're going to always need more universes in the network. And so I'd been thinking about that. It would have to be an infinite number of stars that would have to be becoming a part of this network. But even though there's an infinite number needed, the amount that they would be getting is so much larger. Remember, infinite amounts can be larger than other infinite amounts. You cannot affect an infinite amount in any way, or it wouldn't be infinite, but they can be of different sizes. After all, the amount of integers that there are, the possibility is infinite. But half of those, just the even numbers, are also an infinite amount. But obviously, the even numbers are a smaller number of infinite than all the numbers. They're still both infinite, but this one is a smaller infinite number. The possibilities of the number of universes that don't have any possibility of becoming a part of this network are so much more than those infinite number that are going to be brought into this number that do. Even though this is going to be an infinite number, the number of other stars that aren't are so much greater, even though they're both infinite. So this smaller infinite number of stars, always growing, is dwarfed by the always growing, much larger, much faster number of other universes. So yeah, it's an infinite group that are not really gonna die out as long as there's more expansion. So they last. And I've had to work and chew on this, and I've even figured out what the person was that originally thought of this and the organization that they became and how they became as an organization sort of a colony creature type of Gakiru, which is being your first step is a being a power above Gokura, which is just us, the numberless prey. As an organization, they became Gakiru. Now, the head of the organization is the sort of the head of the being that they had become, but he understands, well, they understand that the head is no more important than the rest of the body, because without the body, the head is dead. And without the head, the body doesn't work. So as an organization, there's those on the bottom, but they're not on the bottom, they're important. Everything is important. And they made that decisions and choices because as they learned, there was more to learn, and as they became more powerful, there were more ways available to become powerful. And as they learned, they became smarter, and they were able to make this network that eventually enveloped the entirety of their universe. And then when everyone in the universe was a part of their network, that's when they were able to figure out how to open up a hole and start connecting to the other universes that they knew were out there that were also looking to try and connect. And they did. And that is how this network is continuing to grow and infect. And it's all just so that I could figure out how and why the bone-hurting juice world would be able to last long enough to produce all these aeons between X number of millions of years forever. A lot of work that will never get mentioned. This is the only time that it ever will. Thumbs up for that. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to thank however many people left comments, up to 25. They're nowhere near 25, but thank you, each and every one of you that has left a comment. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. I am an American English speaker that is filled with gas. I cannot get my stomach to stop having that feeling of needing to burp. Joy. Let's see, I did the mispronounce. So, and because I get lost easily with ADHD, depression, and my cannabis use for pain and mobility, I have memory issues, so I may get lost. That does happen. We have Tom Smith, thumbs up and thank you. Brad Pitt, greatly appreciated, and you are very welcome and thank you. At 05 Bradley Natan Kanaz Dolentalide. Thumbs up and thank you. Ice Damon, greatly appreciated. Confused Owl 29, thumbs up and thank you. Captain Jupiter, thank you very, very much. It is appreciated. Ben B, thank you. Favel, I'm working on it, so no fear. And then we have Kaylee Barbary, thumbs up and thank you. Dolamy Do, thumbs up. Garen Hollow, thumbs up and thank you so much. 11 people over the last 24 hours left me comments on my 3 videos. Thank you, each and every one of you. You get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, and it is appreciated. Thank you so much. Goodness gracious. With my hands in the air, I do not know what sort of device you are watching this video on, so I do not know where the text description for the video is, but inside of it I have links to all of my channels. I also have links to my social media like Twitter, Facebook, and links to my Patreon. So if you could become a patreon.com patron, like one of these beautiful and awesome people that are helping to keep me fed, keep my pets fed, keep cannabis in my system so I can move. Thank you, each and every one of you. If you could help me out, that would be awesome. But if you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, I do have in there a link to my PayPal, so you can send money to help, and I'm kind of desperate, so it would. And if you'd like to help me out, hopefully I've got my Amazon wish list link updated with things like cat food on it. Hopefully I've got that done. Now, do not feel obligated, because I do not feel entitled. And if you cannot donate, or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart, where I draw interest. So thank you very much. And if you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation get from my existence. Definite thumbs up, and of course, if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be very cool. And thank you, each and every one of you, if you have watched this far. The bulk of viewers would stop after 3 minutes. Across YouTube as a whole, so it's not me special. But thank you if you've watched this far. Now I'm going to try and stay as active as I can today. I have to call up this one place to verify I have an appointment. They called on a Sunday. I wasn't available to get the phone, so thumbs up. So hopefully I'll be able to get that done. But with the Covfefe bug raging around the world, especially here in the United States, please try to stay away from other people, especially the unvaxxed. If you have to go out, maintain your social distancing, wear a mask, wash your hands often, try not to touch your face, get vaxxed if you can, get a booster when it's available. Just do your best to be smart. It's a virus, it's a disease, it's not political. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And quite frankly, I think that's a very good thing.